The hair mod tutorial is divided into two parts, and this video explains how to create hair meshes. Export the meshes and the textures required for the hair mesh. Open the content browser and search for Hair. Export Hair Card 001. Next, export Female Hair 009. Search for Head and export Female Head. Organize the required meshes before creating the hair mesh. Press A to select all, then press X to delete. Click File and import an FBX file. Import the female head and hair files. Select the scalp mesh, press Alt-P, choose Clear and keep transformation to separate it from the mesh group. Hold Shift, select the entire hair group, then press X to delete. Select the separated scalp mesh and delete the root in Modifiers. In the Data panel, select Delete All Groups to remove vertex groups. Select the materials on the scalp mesh while holding Ctrl, right-click, then delete each material. Press Ctrl-Z if a mesh was deleted accidentally. Delete the materials on the head mesh. In Add, click Path to create a path, then press S to scale down. Press G, then Z to move the mesh along the Z axis. In Path Data, set the resolution preview U to 3. Press Shift-D to duplicate the path and move to another location. In the original path data, click Geometry, then click Object to select the duplicated path. Scale the duplicated path using S. Select the original path and switch to Edit mode. Select a vertex on the left, press E, then X to add 2 vertices. Select all vertices, press G and X to move them to the right. Press numpad 1 for the front view and adjust the path position. Press G and Z to adjust the path's position. Hold Ctrl while dragging to deselect only a selected section. Use G to adjust the path along the head in X and Z directions. Adjust vertices that extend inside the head mesh. Switch to Object mode and add the Mirror modifier in Modifiers. Select the head mesh or the scalp mesh as the mirror object. Disable clipping and merge to prevent the paths from merging. Press Shift-D to duplicate and move with G and Y. Press R and Z to rotate along the Z axis. Repeat to duplicate paths around the head. Select the front path and press Shift-D to duplicate. Switch to Edit mode, drag the bottom 2 vertices, and press X to delete. Click the bottom vertices, adjust the bang's length with G and Z. Switch to Object mode, adjust the direction with R and Z. Use G and Y to attach the bangs to the head, then switch to Edit mode. Select vertices, adjust their positions using G. In Object mode, adjust the path direction using R. Press Shift-D to duplicate and create the bangs. Once finished, select all paths, right-click, and choose Convert to Mesh. Go to the UV Editing tab and delete paths with only lines by pressing X. Select the bangs mesh while holding Shift and press Ctrl-J to join. Do the same for the back and sides hair meshes using Shift and Ctrl, then press Ctrl-J to join. Rename each mesh to identify them. Select the bangs mesh and click Open in the UV panel. Open the previously exported hair card. Go to the Shading tab and click New. Drag the base color pin to add an image texture node. Click the image icon and load the hair card image. Connect the image texture alpha pin to the BSDF alpha pin. Return to UV editing. Select the bangs mesh and switch to edit mode. Press A to select all, right-click in the UV panel and choose Unwrap. Organize UV islands that unfold differently, and press 1 to switch to vertex mode. Drag the top 2 vertices, press SY0, then Enter. Repeat for the bottom section. Drag the 2 vertices on the left, press SX0, then Enter. Repeat for the vertices on the right. Press 3 to switch to face mode, select a face, press L, right-click and choose Follow Active Quads. Repeat the same process for the other faces. Select all organized UV islands by pressing A, press S, then X and Y to adjust scaling. Adjust UV island size and position to match the hair texture. Stack other UV islands on the front hair texture using the same method. Switch to Material Preview mode, switch to Object mode, and verify the applied texture. Select the back and sides mesh, switch to Edit mode. Press A to select all and unwrap the mesh. Move the 2 UV islands using G. Press 1 to switch to vertex mode, click Snap, and change snapping to vertex. Select the UV islands to move by pressing L, then press G to stack them. Stack the other UV islands in the same way. If stacking is too difficult, skip Snap and stack manually. Press A to select all UV islands, press G to move them above the hair texture. Press S to scale the UV islands to match the texture size. In the Shading tab, connect the previously created material. Click the created mesh and open the data panel. Click UV Maps to check the name of the UV map. Select the scalp mesh and delete the light map UV. Rename Diffuse UV to match the name used in other meshes. Change names according to the Blender language version, as map names differ in each language. Ensure all 3 meshes have the same UV map name. Otherwise, UV maps split when merging. Delete unnecessary head meshes using X. Select the hair and scalp meshes with Shift, then press Ctrl-J to join them. Double-click the mesh to rename it. Switch to Edit mode. Press A, place the cursor on the scalp, press Shift-L to exclude the faces. Select the material and rename it to hair. Move the material up using the arrow button and click Assign. Select an empty material slot and click New. Name the new material Hair Scalp. Select the scalp using L and click Assign. Click File and select Export to FBX. Choose the save location and click Export.